Welcome back to OneStopTutorials.com. It's me, Crazy Alibaba, back again. How you doing? Now, I apologize if you can hear my dog in the background. I have this sausage dog. It's a Dachshund, and for some reason he thinks he's like a Thailand hunter or something, so he's running around chasing geckos around my garden. So if you can hear him woof, I do apologize, but he's a dog on a mission, getting his dinner. I don't know. We feed him enough sticky rice and chicken heads. I don't know what his problem is, but anyway, back to Flash. So now we have a sort of understanding of what a symbol is. Now let me show you three of the main, well, the only three symbols that there are, okay? In this tutorial, we're going to go over the graphic symbol, and I'm going to show you what that one does, and in the next tutorial, we'll go over the button one, and then we'll go over the movie clip one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a shape tool. I'm going to grab an oval tool. I'm just going to make a bog standard circle. There we go. Just nothing special, okay? Now, what I want to do first is convert this to a symbol. I'm just simply going to highlight it. So I've selected it all. You'll know it's selected because of the little dots on it. And I'm going to hit the shortcut on my keyboard is F8. Okay, that's my shortcut. And this will bring up to convert to symbol dialog box. Okay, I'm going to name this. I'm going to name this Bruno because he won't shut up. That's my dog's name. So it's called Bruno. And in this type, you'll notice we have three types. We have a movie clip, we have a button, and we have a graphic. Let's go over the graphic one first, and then we'll come back to these two in the next two tutorials. So I'm going to hit graphic, and then I'm going to hit OK. And there you go. You'll notice it's now made us a actual symbol. Okay, it's made us a graphic symbol, and there it is. So what's the difference here? Well, this graphic symbol, okay, when we double left click on this graphic symbol has its own timeline. Okay, you can see it here. This is its own dependable timeline. Okay. And if we come back out to the scene again, you'll notice we have another timeline. This is the main timeline. These timelines are two different things. Let me show. I'm going to double left click on it. I'm going to go to frame 20, and I know we haven't worked on timelines yet, but we will do. I just want to quickly show you what I mean. I'm going to right click on frame 20, and I'm going to choose insert keyframe. Okay. Now at frame 20, I want to disform this circle. I want to make this circle look really weird. So I'm going to, with my selection tool, just going to move that up, maybe move that down a bit. That'll be fine. Okay, so you'll notice from frame 1 to frame 19, nothing happens. On frame 20, it becomes dysfunctional. Okay, so now we've edited this inside of the graphic symbols timeline. Okay, and you'll notice you're in there because you can see the symbol that we named called Bruno. Okay, when you're not in it, let's say we go back to the main timeline, you'll notice that graphic symbol called Bruno does not exist no more. So now we change that in there. When we come back to the main timeline, you'll notice that nothing has changed. Okay, if I set a, let's go to frame 45, right click and insert a frame. Okay, you'll notice that when I move across here, nothing changes except for when I get to frame 20. Okay, because when we went into our symbol, we set a keyframe at number 20, frame 20, and we made it all squishy and stuff at frame 20, but anything before that, nothing happened. So when we come to our scene, you'll notice at the moment only frame 20 gets affected, and anything before it doesn't, and anything after it doesn't. Okay, so this frame is dependable on the actual frame inside of the graphics symbol. Okay, now what you can do is you can actually modify this a bit to suit more of your needs. Okay, so let's say for instance I click on the actual symbol here, okay, and I come to my properties. What I might do actually is I might make my properties a bit bigger so you can see them. Okay, so I select it with the selection tool, select the symbol, and the property panels comes up here. At the moment, we have this graphic symbol set up to be a loop. Okay, loop, which means that let me close that down one sec. Which means that at frame 20, it becomes all squished. Now, as we have this set up as a loop, if we went to frame 40, you'll notice the same thing happen. Again, that would happen at frame 60, 80. So it goes at every 20 frames. This will change to what we changed it inside of the graphic symbols timeline. Okay, so that's what a loop is. Let me come back to my properties. I hope you're sort of understanding what I'm saying here. Next thing you have here is called play once. Okay, now what play once means is it's going to be, let me just close this down again. I'm limited on space because these tutorials. Play once will be normal shape that we have, a circle, up to frame 20. Now after frame 20, this squishy blob that we made, okay, so this will actually stay there indefinitely until we get it to change, okay. So what you're doing is, instead of looping it like we did before, you're playing it once, okay, and it's just staying there, okay. So that's what play once does. And let's come back one more time, select the symbol, and you'll notice here we have one more option, which is a single frame. Now, single frame means at the moment we have single frame set to frame 1, okay, meaning that when we come through this main timeline, nothing changes. That's because inside of our symbol that we made, our graphic symbol, if I double left click on it to get into the timeline, we set this to be at frame 20, okay, frame 20, the blob appeared. So let me come back to the main scene. So if we select that actual symbol and we choose the first 20, okay, because that's the keyframe we set it to, 20. If I type in 20, watch what happens. There is our blob. Now our blob is there indefinitely until again we change it. Whereas before it wasn't there, okay. It's because we're selecting a single frame, and the frame number that we want is frame 20. If we set that to frame 19, what would happen? Nothing. Because in our main symbol, we set it to frame 20. So I hope you get an understanding of what I'm trying to do here. Now, graphic symbols, you mainly use them for animation, okay? They're mainly used for animation and things like that, okay? So what I'm going to do is we're going to get into these symbols. You're going to be so good at these symbols by the time this tutorial course has finished that you're really going to have a strong understanding. What I want to show you now is just what a graphic symbol is, how it affects its own independent timeline, okay? And then you have to be careful that when it comes to editing stuff, you're actually editing stuff in the actual its own timeline, and then you have to repeat that information in the main timeline, meaning if we want to call upon this graphic, we have to, if it was set to loop, let me come back to loop, set that to 1, frame 20, you would have to, that's what you call upon, okay? So I hope I haven't confused you more thinking, Ali, what are you talking about, okay? Don't worry, don't panic. We shall go through this a lot more through projects. It will become more obvious. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be looking at buttons, okay? Button symbols and working out what they do. Take it easy, guys and girls. Catch you at the next one-stop tutorials. Any problems, please let me know. I shall catch you guys and girls at the next Flash tutorials. Laters, everyone.